Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey. I am Rob, your host. Carter back, co-host. How you doing, buddy?
I am great. How are you?
Good. Looking across the table, seeing a guy, looks kind of familiar.
A friend of the show, been on the show many times.
He has? It's been a while, or am I not remembering?
Well, he's been hunting or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's that time of year, you know.
So you're mad at Bambi again.
I am. Every year,
Bambi.
about this time of year, I get really mad at him.
You're gonna say, I'm putting Bambi in my freezer.
That's right. That's right.
How you doing, Dave Scott?
Good. Great to be back. Been missing out on all the fun.
Yeah, but you're jumping back in.
I am.
All right.
And any chance I get.
We have a new participant on the podcast.
We do.
We met him for the first time tonight. Him and I had been chatting online. He's a big pizza guy. Mark Wade. How you doing, Mark?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming out and joining us
man.
tonight. We're going to talk a little pizza. You're a big pizza guy. Then we're going to cook some pizza. So this ought to be fun.
Cool.
You guys excited?
So we get to eat pizza too, not just talk about it.
Yeah, you want bubbles?
Oh, don't even tease me with that.
I think I could go there.
Could you go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pizza, I mean, to me, you guys know me well enough to know pizza's one of my favorite foods. I mean, even though I'm skinny, I still like it.
It's a death
Why are you
bed.
laughing, Dave?
Oh,
You saying I'm a big boy?
no, not at all. Would never.
Pizza's a death row final meal
Is it really?
for me.
I don't know that I'd go that far.
I second that.
Do you really?
If it's not pizza, it's gumbo, but pizza hands down. But the problem is, what kind of pizza are you going to get on death row, right? I mean, they're going to order it
something
from
frozen
someplace right down the
Tombstone?
street.
Yeah.
It's not going to be something pretty good.
Like old elementary school pizza, square cut.
square that I used to put actually
Sheet
mustard on
pan.
to make it feel taste
Oh,
better.
God.
With cheddar cheese on top of it.
Oh, jeez. No.
Well, pizza's a love of mine, and I know you guys like pizza, but where does it ring for you? How crazy are you about pizza?
Well, it's not barbecue, so, but
It's next,
it's
a
up there.
tier below?
Yeah. I mean,
Or a couple.
I could eat pizza several nights a week.
I could too.
But barbecue, I could eat every single day. But pizza, it's relegated to just 3 nights a week.
All right,
But you could put barbecue on pizza.
True. And that makes it even better.
You're going to get a little of that tonight.
Well, here's a
That's what-
confession. I'll actually eat pizza I'll make it. I'll have it for breakfast, lunch, and then I'll eat it again for dinner the next day. I mean, I can eat it.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hands down.
Yeah, I thought I was a pizza nut,
Yeah.
but I might not be that.
I'm not even in the same league.
No, I feel a little ashamed now and put my head down.
Yep.
I will say, a little cold pizza after a night of drinking in the morning.
I mean, that's a given.
Just gonna throw that out
Is
there.
that breakfast pizza?
It's breakfast to me.
Like, all foods, talk about a steak. You can get different cuts, different, ways to cook that steak. Pizzas I like because they're very versatile as well. You can cook them a lot of different ways. Let's talk about some of the different pizzas that we enjoy. I don't want to hog it. Go ahead, Carter. What are 2 or 3 pizza styles that you enjoy?
Probably like my number one is just this traditional New York style pizza, like as in like the crust is pretty thin, but yet really like crispy, like no flop.
No flop.
I would go one
Want it
bite.
stiff.
And that's my go-to. Now, I like a lot of the other styles, though. I like Detroit quite a lot. I like what Chicago calls pub-style pizza.
Bar pizza?
Which is like the crackery, crusty, like you actually roll it out
And
style.
you cook it pretty long. The cheese gets
Yes.
kind of that brown on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. But I like I like a deep dish pizza also.
I do too. It's not one that I crave all the time, but I would say once or twice a year, I just get this craving for a deep dish, and I'll break out the cast iron and make a solid deep dish, and then I'm content for a while.
You know why?
Why?
It's because when you eat it, it sits like a gut bomb in your stomach.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm done with that for
And it
at
takes
least
6 months for you to forget it.
Yeah. Well, and part of enjoying pizza for me on pizza nights is making a crust in a way where, to your point, it's about the toppings. So I want to be able to eat 4, 5, or 6 different pieces to get all the different flavors that we're putting together. A Detroit pizza, I mean, not a Detroit, Chicago pizza, to your point, Mark, it'll fill you up.
One
You know,
slice.
one slice and you're done. It's
done.
like cheesecake. You can't eat the whole thing.
Yep.
And so it's good once in a while, but not very often. But, when you do want it, it hits the spot pretty quick.
That's what I was gonna say. It like when you want that pizza, oh man, it's
good.
so magical.
Yes.
And there's something about cornmeal in a crust.
I agree. A good flaky crust on a Chicago-style pizza, to me, it is a delight. I enjoy eating that.
You know what's interesting is my family's from Illinois, so right outside Chicago, and my parents kept talking about this pizza place in Illinois State University where they would introduce cornmeal into the pizza crust, and they talked about how good it was, and then my mom started introducing it to her pizza crust, and to this day, I use it a little bit like ball bearings when I roll my pizza into
That's what
the
I
oven,
use it for.
because it rolls easily. But I think that cornmeal actually adds a little bit of the crunch that you like.
Yep.
No, I totally
I would
agree
agree
with that.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like one of the best pizza like memories of my life is a friend of the show, Chris Francis. He was cooking on his Big Green Egg, and he was dusting everything like with cornmeal, and oh my gosh, the crisp from like the essentially like the coal fired type pizza with the cornmeal. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
just really nice.
Yeah.
So let me ask this: is there let me make a statement. You guys tell me if you agree or disagree. And Dave, I think I may know where you're going to be on this, but I'm going to say it anyway. To me, simple is better. I prefer pizzas with one meat for the most part, and then no more than 3 additional toppings. So 4 total toppings, not counting sauce and cheese, obviously, but 4 total toppings on a pizza, and I'm done. My wife will like a Supreme, and I'm like,
Nah.
that's just too much going on. That's like going at a barbecue. Do you ever go, let me fork a piece of smoked chicken, let me get some brisket, a little rib, and I want that turkey breast all in one bite and put it in?
Not in one bite.
Exactly. So why would you put all that on one pizza?
Well,
Because it's barbecue. It's not pizza.
I mean, to your point.
But no, that's kind of my rule is
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So for me, I actually am probably even more strict than you.
Are you really?
I think once you get to 3 toppings, you're done.
Okay.
Like don't go over 3. Like because here's the thing. Like to me, crisp is like most important, and I don't want a pizza to be floppy and heavy and all that kind of stuff. I want it to be kind of firm. Like you take a bite, you get all of the ingredients.
You bite through it. It's a clean bite. You're not pulling cheese off. It's just a good
I'd be like a
slice.
Supreme with like black olives and all this kind of garbage going on. I mean, like, nah, man, that's not for me.
And my bigger reason is just palate confusion, right? I want to get 2 or 3 ingredients I like a lot that when I take a bite, those are the ingredients that shine. And I can taste those, whether it's goat cheese with prosciutto and some arugula and balsamic or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That I can taste those ingredients. Pepperoni with mushrooms and jalapenos. Boom, I'm good. But I don't want a meat lovers and then throw your green peppers and throw your onions and then throw black olives and mushroom. And I mean, you need to eat it with a shovel.
So I'm going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum here, and I think I agree with everything with what everyone is saying, but I'm going to open up a new perspective here. When I talk about ingredients, I'm looking at even things that are very light ingredients. So I might make a pizza that has lemon zest, pistachio, arugula. Right there, that's 3 ingredients that are, that's part of the pizza, and it's really a dusting on top of the pizza that I might include then, whether it's smoked duck or smoked chicken or whatever. So you still have the 1, 2, or 3 heavy ingredients, so you don't get the pizza flop. But then you get this, I'm more of like I'm not going to say molecular gastronomy type cook, but I do like I like to be creative to the point of what else can I do? And for things like, the dusting of lemon zest or orange zest or pistachios, it's an extra ingredient. But
I don't really count that as an ingredient.
Me neither.
Yeah,
But I think
I
we're
agree.
Okay,
enhancing
cool.
the
Then we're all
flavor.
on the same
We're on the
page.
same page. Because I'll tell you, I'm a finish the pizza, olive oil, little oregano on top, some fresh grated Parmesan or Parmigiano Reggiano on top, and boom, that's my pizza. But the toppings were. But I think
We're
we're on the
talking
same
big
page.
stuff. Oh,
yeah, yeah, we're
All right,
splitting
well,
hairs.
Heavy
I agree.
ingredients, like you
Yep.
said, heavy ingredients.
Yeah,
So,
but when you say this is, because I don't think when you go to somebody, you go, hey, what do you want on your pizza? And they're going to be mushrooms, this and this. And you're going to be like, well, I'm going to finish it off with a little.
Lemon zest and a drizzle of balsamic or like something like that. That's a different story,
Right.
you know.
Those kind of finishing toppings, I can't wait to get into Mark's list because I got a feeling we're going to be.
I feel like I'm going to be real basic.
Yeah, I'm gonna. He's gonna be like, you guys don't have a clue
Yeah.
what you're doing.
No.
I think his
few
will
of mine
all
are
be
right off the
specialty
bat are-
pizzas, and
Yeah.
ours will be basic.
Mine are just gonna be special.
Right.
But it's all pizza, right? I mean, it's what you
Exactly.
like.
Exactly.
What you like? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's roll.
So, other pizzas I like are sheet pan pizza, grandma pizza. I don't know if you've ever had those.
I haven't had a lot of those.
No,
Hey,
they're
you
fun to
need to
make at
cook
home.
one
Have you
for
made
me.
some sheet pan? Just
I
in a-
haven't, but I was earlier talking with your wife about my mom makes breakfast pizza every Christmas, and it's a sheet pan pizza.
Okay. Yeah,
Ah.
that would be it.
So
yeah.
what's the difference between that and like Roman style pizza?
Basically the same thing. I think we're splitting
Okay.
hairs on a lot of these things. So we were talking about that too. That's kind of a good segue into what's the difference between a margarita and a Neapolitan. And we kind of got educated on that. You guys looked it up.
It's ingredient based.
Well, it's got to be,
Where it's
kind of like
from.
we get into wines and whiskey. It's got to be with all the ingredients from Italy to be Neapolitan.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be made there,
Yeah.
but it has to have those ingredients to be called that.
Now, how about the Taco Bell Mexican pizza?
Listen, I love chorizo as an ingredient, and I've done some Mexican pizzas. I've done a Philly cheesesteak pizza where I cooked everything on the flat top.
I love
and
that
then
pizza, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good pizza.
So you don't count the tortilla as the pizza crust, then?
The tortilla?
Yeah, on a Mexican
Yeah, on
pizza.
a Mexican pizza.
You know,
Oh.
Taco Bell's Mexican
You know.
pizza.
I don't eat Taco Bell like somebody to my left.
I almost wore the shirt tonight. Like the answer is
quiero-
Taco Bell.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
So okay, let's dive into it. Nothing's off limits. I mean, build your pie the way you want to. You get 5 takes at it.
All right.
And I think if we're going to be
To
friendly and nice, we need to tee it up for the
the newbie.
For the
to
new guy.
newbie, to the guest.
All right.
And let him lead the way. You okay with that, Mark?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
All right.
Well, I think number 5 on my list is I have to pay homage to a really good friend of mine, Harry, where we were in college, or actually after college. We used to order Pizza Hut pizza all the time, and we had this pizza we called the Wrecker, which was pepperoni and jalapeno and onions. And I'll leave it to the listeners' imagination of why it's called the Wrecker. But I still make that pizza to the day. I put on, I make my homemade dough. It's going to be a thin pizza. Make homemade sauce that's usually, my sauce is consistent across all the pizzas. It's made with roasted garlic, salt, basil, and a can of San Marzan tomatoes. Real simple.
Cook the tomatoes?
Nope. Everything is just
Man, I like him already.
Yep, that's a good call.
Good call.
very simple sauce, very thin sauce. And put down, it's a variety of meats, basically. The star of this pizza is actually the jalapeno. So I'll put on pepperoni, caramelized red onions, and jalapeno. That's pretty much my number 5.
So, can I ask you a question about the jalapenos?
Sure.
Are they
Fresh.
fresh or pickled or like
They're
what-
fresh.
Okay, fresh jalapenos.
They're fresh.
So bright green.
Cut them
Yeah.
sliced, and then I cook them. So I don't put them on afterwards. I cook them in the oven.
Okay.
When I cook my pizzas, I have a pizza oven, a Mignani outside. That's a wood fire oven that is anywhere around 625 to 725. That is probably cooking about 5 minutes or so. I also have a pizza steel, cooks inside my house, inside my oven, about 550. That pizza goes for probably around 5-6 minutes as well. So the jalapenos do get crisped up a little bit.
Okay.
But
Cool.
for the most part, it has some heat, and again, that's why it has the name the Wrecker. So
All right.
I like that. I think jalapenos are a very, like, it's not on my list, but it would,
Same.
it's it's something I would love to like. I love on pizza.
Well, and-
I agree.
Why I think it goes good with the pepperoni is the fat or the grease that exudes from the pepperoni. You get the spice and then you get the fat. I think it's a good combination.
So I'll say this, pepperoni. There is a pizza on my list that has pepperoni in it, but I believe it's one of the most overrated ingredients, like
For pizza?
for pizza.
Yeah.
Chris Rowland will listen to this, and it's his favorite pizza.
Okay.
Pepperoni.
Well, he also thinks that In-N-Out is better than Whataburger.
Yeah,
No.
I guess his
So
he's 0 for 2.
yeah.
His palate is trash.
Dave Scott.
I'm not gonna say that, but
Food wise.
food-wise,
Maybe not
Until he-
champagne and wine and everything else.
Until he proves differently.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, really, In-N-Out, come on.
He'll get an opportunity to redeem himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
It's like, then you haven't eaten very many hamburgers.
Well, that's a kid's menu, but anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, so keep going. You're up.
That was number 5.
Yep.
So number 4 is going to be a meat pizza. It's got Italian sausage. It's got it's got onions, and it's got caramelized red onions, I should say, and it's got a sauce, the same sauce I talked about earlier, but I take some raw chorizo, pork chorizo, and saute that up, cook it, mix it with the sauce to make the sauce like a really spicy and thicker sauce. Put that down. And the key to this pizza is Calabrian chilies. I don't know if you guys like
Can you
Calabrian
find
chilies.
those around here?
Oh, yeah. They're on the shelf at HEB.
Yeah, I have not found
HEB. They're at Kroger. I can find them, but I have
I can't
a
find them at
standing,
HEB. I've looked.
I looked-
standing
our
order
HEB
on
has them.
Amazon, and I brought some
Yep.
tonight, by the way.
Calabrian,
really?
Calabrian
Oh,
chili.
sweet.
Yeah.
Now, are we talking the canned or
Oh no, it's
Jarred.
Okay.
I love these chilies so much. I actually started growing them, but I couldn't. I couldn't get them to grow the way that I could just go buy them. But they're expensive. A jar is $8 of chilies.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant when I said canned. Not the fresh
Yeah.
Calabrian chilies, but in a
No,
Jar.
yeah,
Jar.
correct.
Are they're in oil
They're in
on the-
oil
correct,
in
yeah.
a jar.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I get the oil, just the oil. I mean,
Yep.
Calabrian is anything. So.
I've been looking for them because I make that roasted red pepper pasta sauce, and I
Yeah.
need them for that. And I've
After
been
you and I
substituting.
talked about it, I
Yeah.
went to my HEB
found them?
and found them on the shelf, Calabrian
Really?
chilies.
I was in your HEB today, so
they've got 'em.
I'll go back and look.
So I'll also, I think Specs downtown has them.
Do they really?
Yeah.
All right. That's a fun pizza. That sounds
good.
pretty
That
good.
sounds really good.
and,
actually.
and one
And you
thing
brought all those ingredients tonight.
I
No, I'm kidding.
not for that
I'm
one.
kidding,
For
I'm kidding.
for the number 1 I did, but I did bring the Calabrian chilies because
Yeah.
it's one of my friends, Mike, always says I don't leave home without him. He always makes fun of me about nothing is all about chili, and especially Calabrian.
Hey, I like heat. I think all of us at this table like a little
Yep.
spice and heat.
And that's
so.
Bobby Flay's favorite is the Calabrian chilies.
Yeah.
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 Everything he does has Calabrian chilies in it.
And I don't think they're that hard. I mean, production wise to get. I just think people don't know about them.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not on all the shelves.
And I mean,
'cause
they're
people don't know
imported
about 'em.
from Italy.
Yeah.
So
So, all right, that's number 4.
Well, and one thing I forgot to mention: the last 2 pizzas, it's all mozzarella.
okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah,
when
okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So the number 3 pizza is inspired by a Vegas trip. I was in Vegas a few years ago for a conference. I was there for 10 days. Pretty long time to be in Vegas, right?
That is a
long time to be
And-
out of reality.
yeah. And
Trouble can happen.
I didn't leave the hotel once, but the hotel was so massive. It was the not Bellagio. It was the Venetian.
Venetian.
Yeah. It's a
And
huge hotel.
And I came across this restaurant called Six Mill, or Sixth Mill, and they had this pizza that was unbelievable, and it was a Neapolitan style. It had burrata cheese, it had arugula, shaved orange zest, and pistachios. I was blown away. I found it the second night. I'm embarrassed to say this. I went back every night.
For 9 days.
Almost 9 days. I went to visit some friends the last day, but I ate that pizza for 7 days in a row.
Did you really?
I kid you not. I kid you not.
This guy likes pizza.
Yeah.
I do.
Evidently.
Yeah. And it damaged my health a little bit. I came home, stepped on the scale, and said, I got to make some changes pretty quick. But I walked away from that saying, I love this pizza so much, I'm going to recreate it. I modified it, and I modified it to my way, which basically I cooked the same dough, as I mentioned before. I mixed up the dough recipe a little bit, but the same sauce. I put prosciutto on there. I put arugula. I put... I missed an ingredient right there. The arugula, prosciutto, and then actually I take the arugula and I mix it up a little bit with some lemon zest and some olive oil, and put it on there, and it's a magical pizza. I mean, it really is.
Sounds good.
It's fresh, it's vibrant, but you still get
Sounds like a pizza at the end of the night kind of cleanse the palate.
exactly. Makes
That's
you feel,
number 3.
Makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
right?
it's
You
like
have a
I ate
little
some
bit of the
veggies
salad,
on it.
Unless you eat
Yeah.
it 7 days in a row.
Good point.
I'm going to tell you that pizza sounds great, but I have to tell you this. One of my foods that I absolutely hate is arugula.
Is it really?
It's so bitter.
I like arugula.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's just so bitter.
Really?
Yep, I'm not a huge fan, but I would eat your pizza.
That's what she said.
That's it. Yeah.
So number 2 is this is actually my family's favorite pizza. My wife and my kids. I will smoke a pork butt and mince up the pork.
You and Dave may end up being good friends.
Yeah.
It's again the same dough, the same sauce, and I put the pork butt on there, and a lot of it is the bark, right? I take the pieces from the bark and put it on there.
Yeah.
You got to have the
Nice.
best pieces on there.
Yep.
And I kid you not, I will smoke the pork just for this one pizza. So 10 hours, whatever, for probably half a cup or a cup of
So a 10-pound pork butt to get a half a cup of meat.
absolutely, right?
And worth it.
That's called, of course it is.
You're committed.
Committed.
That's right.
Committed. Just wait till we talk about pizza number 1.
Yeah.
But
Gosh.
so it's the pork, it's caramelized onions, and then it's just a regular cheese. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of Gruyere cheese on there as well. My kids love it. My wife loves it. It's her favorite pizza. So anytime I can get my wife to love pizza and want pizza, it's good
Yeah,
because
same with mine.
it's always a battle. It's like, what do you want for
She
dinner
doesn't want
tonight?
pizza ever.
Yeah.
Until you give her a good piece of pizza, and then it's like,
Oh, I love this pizza.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's like
Can you make that again?
Our trip to New York. One of my top things to do if I ever went to New York was to go to Lombardi's Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Very first pizza place in the United
Yep.
States. And-
1907 or 10, right? Something like that.
And we went the first night, and she was like, damn, this is good pizza. And kind of like your Vegas experience, we were only there for 4 days, and 2 of the nights we ate at Lombardi's.
Just 2. I'm disappointed, dude.
So,
Could have went
yeah.
3
I know.
for sure. Mark, don't look down on
Yeah.
me.
I'll try not to.
I'm not a real
That is
player
good
like
pizza.
that.
4 nights, 2 pizzas. I mean,
Yeah.
that means you're going back, and
Yeah,
and you got to do that because it's like, when's the next time we're going to be in New York? It's not like you're there every weekend.
Nope.
So get that experience.
Yep.
So that's number
2.
2.
Okay.
So my number 1, drum roll.
Is this your favorite pizza? Is this a creation or a
This is my favorite pizza. I can't say that it's
you said it's
my
your-
family's favorite pizza.
Right, because you already said number 2 is your wife's favorite.
Well, and my kids.
And your kids.
Yeah, so this is my favorite pizza.
Okay.
So I already mentioned that I love smoking meat. I smoked a chicken this afternoon just to come over here and make one pizza for you guys.
All right.
So my favorite pizza, again, the same dough. When I say the same dough, I mix up the recipes, but it's the same style.
Yeah.
Same sauce. And it's smoked chicken with shiitake mushrooms that are sauteed with a little bit of lemon thyme, which actually imparts a lot of flavor in there. A little bit of sea salt, saute those down, and then some sauteed leeks. Leeks actually adds a really interesting, almost bitter flavor. We'll see if you like it.
Yeah.
But it adds a little different flavor profile, and then Gruyere cheese on top. The other thing that we can also do is a little bit of truffle oil sprinkled all the way
now
around.
we're
So
talking.
I brought some of that too. So,
Nice.
I like
So-
that.
so that's my favorite pizza.
You know,
right.
that's a solid list. And the problem I have is I can't critique it too hard because I haven't had those pizzas.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the way they sound, my mouth is starting to water.
Yeah, I'm
because
getting
it
hungry.
sounds
Yeah.
pretty good.
For sure.
we know we're getting one of those pizzas tonight. Number one.
Yep.
Can we come close on one of the other ones? Nope.
I brought Calabrian chilies. I brought pistachios. I brought a lemon for some lemon zest.
We'll get creative.
My arugula was bad, so I threw it away. So you're in luck.
Sorry,
There's no there's
Damn, I had
no
some
greens on the pizza.
brand new fresh arugula. At
Guess
home.
who bought some for tonight?
All right.
Well,
It'll go good with
cool.
the truffle oil.
There you go.
Yeah.
My wife loves it.
There you
So-
go. It's all about your wife anyway, not you, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just lucky I get to come out.
Anytime, well, I'm not even going to go
Yeah.
to the shackle comment. I just did.
Shackles. She'll listen to this,
I know.
by the way. But
All right, who wants to go second?
I'll take a swing at it.
All right.
do it.
All right. So my number 5 is probably my most non-traditional pizza.
Okay.
Whereas every other pizza that we've talked about has red sauce, mozzarella cheese. So my number 5, instead of having red sauce, homemade fresh pesto as the base.
I thought you were going to say a Mountain Dew reduction.
It might be in there, or
Mark,
that just might
you're-
be the chosen beverage to
go
accentuate
with it.
To wash
Yeah.
it down?
Yeah.
You're going to have to go back and listen to Top 5 Breakfast just to get that reference.
Okay, I will.
So fresh pesto, a little sprinkling of mozzarella, and like we talked about prior to the show, this is definitely whole milk, fresh mozzarella. Smoked chicken, cubed up, put on there, with dollops of ricotta cheese.
Okay, that sounds good.
That sounds delicious.
I mean,
So-
I'm in.
And for all of my pizzas, I prefer the thin to hand tossed
Kind of crust.
thickness type of crust. But I do like my crust well done.
Crispy.
So crispy,
Yep.
getting
Yep.
some people would call it burnt in spots, but that's just well done.
I think they call it like, leopard spots.
Yeah.
You get some of those spots
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I want the crispiness to it. Like
Yes.
no
Yeah.
flop. I want to
Right.
hold it up and
Yep.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
walk the plank. Right.
It is,
exactly right.
It's Viagra pizza.
and now I do have a couple pizzas that I love to load the toppings on, and it better be a firm.
More than 3?
Oh boy.
As he looks at
No,
his
not
notes.
not real. Only one of them has more than 3, but the other one, if we're calling like those lesser ingredients, just kind of
Those are finishing touches.
right.
Yeah.
So, but all of my pizza crusts I like thin to a hand tossed, but I've never had a Detroit style pizza, so I don't really.
You've never had Detroit style?
Never.
Not
I
even
haven't-
here.
I haven't either.
Not even here.
Oh
haven't
my
either?
Gosh.
No.
You guys are freaking missing out.
So, and I would
The
love to
look
try it.
across the table is shocking. I'm getting like
Had I known
bulged eyes.
that, had I known that, I would have made at least one for tonight.
We had one last podcast.
Yeah,
recording session.
Yeah, because Leo had never had Detroit, so I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
I'll make a
So
couple
good.
before we record.
Yep. And then Chicago style, like you said, I can go for that maybe 1-2 times a year max, and because it's just a gut bomb.
It is a gut bomb.
So then, moving up, my number 4 pizza is Neapolitan or margarita.
Yeah.
So, and which is saying a lot for me because I'm a meat person. I want meat in every meal on every pizza. It doesn't matter. I want.
Yep.
Well, it's not a meal if it doesn't have meat in it. So
Here's my question for you on this pizza. And I agree that typically I like meat too, but sometimes the sauce is a star,
No,
the
no,
splash cheese,
absolutely.
basil's great. But I always think about either a margarita or Neapolitan as having that thicker kind of crust around the edge. Do you still prefer the thin crust with a margarita type flavor?
I'm not concerned about the edge. I mean, the overall pizza thickness is
You
still
just okay.
is still fairly thin, but the part that you hold on to, or I mean, I like
can be
that
the
puffed
size of
up,
a-
and
you do like that. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's probably definitely the style I like. Is that the part that's holding all of the ingredients is thin,
Yes, I agree.
but
Totally
But
agree.
the crust around the pizza I like it on the thicker, puffed up
Okay.
side,
Nice
So-
and airy, chewy.
right.
Okay.
So margarita, we're talking red sauce, dollops of fresh mozzarella,
Basil, some olive oil.
and I like my basil on my pizzas to start to get burnt.
Oh, you do?
Little crispy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So,
We're going to differ on that.
all right. We can.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to number 3. And we had this pizza here at the house one time. I smoked a pork belly.
Ooh, pork belly.
Pork belly.
I like it.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds good.
Came up and I brought goat cheese and arugula.
Yep.
And
You lost me there.
dude,
The goat cheese, absolutely.
but yes, red sauce base, little garlic sprinkled on it, some, homemade smoked pork belly, chopped, cubed thin, the arugula, and then dollops of goat cheese on top of that. Man, that was a killer pie.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
delicious.
But the arugula added the peppery, little peppery, enough pepperiness to offset the fattiness of the pork belly.
Yep.
And
Delicious.
yeah, it was excellent. My number 2 pizza. This is the one that endless toppings.
Uh-oh.
Whatever meat you can come up with.
This is a carnivore pizza.
Yeah, my meat lovers, and no crust is going to stand up to the weight of all the toppings.
So it's a
I
fork and knife pizza.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can do the trifold, the middle, fold the middle and try and get enough stiffness out of it, but
Still 2 hands are holding that bad boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's got, I love a pizza with only meat.
only meat.
Yeah, this one has only meat.
Okay.
Okay.
And I mean, other than the red sauce and your mozzarella
Right,
cheese,
yeah,
but
but no veggies.
no veggies,
No mushrooms, no olives, no jalapenos, nothing.
Nope.
Okay.
Hamburger, pepperoni, spicy Italian sausage. If I've got Canadian bacon or confined Canadian bacon, put that on there. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I like that's probably my second favorite pizzas to have, and that sucker is heavy.
Yeah. So I would actually say I would like that pizza, but in a calzone.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I would like that more like in that form.
Yep, I
than
agree
a pizza
completely.
form.
Yeah, I don't ever think of calzones, and that's being from Texas. It's just, we've got some places that serve calzones, but not a whole lot.
We make the pizza, we fold it in half, we
Right.
cut it, we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
Calzone.
Exactly. All right, now moving on to my number 1, and this is pretty much the favorite in our household, is same thing, red sauce, mozzarella cheese, but with mushrooms, red onion, pepperoni, and meatball. Homemade meatball.
Ah, yeah.
Like a whole meatball, or is it
Sliced,
diced up?
but
Okay.
Sliced.
Okay.
So you still have the round
Yep.
shape of the,
It's a half moon.
not the spherical shape of a meatball, but yes, but
Right.
Cut a ball in
you
half.
cut it on the bias, so it's a thin. It's like the shape of a pepperoni, but it's a meatball. That
Yeah,
has
you
been
would
sliced.
think the rest of the ball's below the crust.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I love meatball.
yeah,
That's a pizza I've heard a lot of people say they enjoy, and I make a pretty good meatball, and I like a meatball.
Yep.
I've never done that. As a matter of fact, I'm a knucklehead, man. I froze some I made some little meatballs because I've been doing pastas with little ones, so I get like more bites instead of a big one.
Yep, those would be perfect.
And I told Sandra I'm going to save a bag, and I froze them, so our next pizza night, here it is pizza night.
I just had inspiration from the meatball conversation. I don't know if you guys have ever had Spanish meatballs, like in a Spanish, like a spicy red sauce. I'm thinking like a regular pizza crust with the spicy. My mouth is watering. I'm just thinking about it. But a spicy red sauce with meatballs and almost like a pecorino on top. Very simple, but it's literally just sauce, meatballs that are probably shaped like you're talking
Yep.
about, and a very simple pecorino or Parmesan cheese on top.
Yeah.
No
That
arugula.
sounds good. No arugula. Yeah, that's
I'm mad at myself because I didn't save these. I didn't pull these meatballs out from the freezer.
Yeah, that would have been primo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. And I did that intentionally to make those because you cut those in half,
Right.
They're about the size, of
Oh,
a
yeah.
nickel.
Yeah, and,
That'd be
and like you
actually
said, you
great.
still get it's like half a moon,
But it's
So
not
you
so
still-
big that, because, some people make
Yeah.
a meatball the
Yeah,
size
we're
of
not
a half
talk-
dollar. That can
No,
get
we're
a
not
little-
talking baseball size,
Right. So,
So, but
next time.
yeah,
Don't let
perfect.
me forget, guys. Next pizza night.
Yeah,
See you tomorrow.
But almost every single one of these pizzas, I'm a grated Parmesan or Pecorino Romano, Asiago cheese
Ooh, love Asiago.
on top to finish with red pepper flakes.
Oh, red pepper flakes. Good call.
Every
pizza.
pretty much every pizza.
I love red pepper flake.
Yeah.
I know that's like not traditional at all, and
Yep.
like probably Italian people would be like, "What the hell are you
See-
doing?" But I love it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
They're not spicy enough for me. That's where I have to go to the Calabrian chilies.
Right.
I'm just like unscrewing the top and dumping the whole
Really?
thing on. Yeah, just
Okay, because red pepper flakes can be a little
They
spicy.
can be
I'm
fi-
impressed
they
with that
can be
palate.
spicy.
If that's not-
maybe I've got some old ones or something, but
Okay, I'm impressed. If you let me put some on one of your pieces tonight. Let's see how.
I ate ghost pepper cheese this
Did you
morning for
really?
breakfast.
Oh, wow.
So,
For breakfast.
for breakfast.
Ghost pepper cheese.
Well, you're not going to taste anything the rest of the day.
It's not that
Palate
bad.
killer.
I'm impressed that you like heat that much. I like heat, but man,
One of my buddies gave me, he makes fresh habanero sauce. And I brought a whole thing home, and I'm just like, I've got habaneros growing in my backyard. I can't eat a whole habanero like in one sitting, but
Right.
I put it on everything, and it's not. The problem with heat, to your point, is if it's so hot, you can't taste the food.
that's
right?
my
Exactly.
point. Yeah,
But
it's a balance.
right?
Yep.
But it's I can take the heat and enjoy the food.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. That's my 5.
that's your top 5. You want me to go and you back clean up? Or you want to be in the 3-hole and I'll knock them in.
I'm the co-host, so I'll take number 2.
Okay, number 3.
Or number 3 or whatever. Okay.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Second to last. Okay, number 1 for me,
Number 5 for you.
or number 5. Number 1 on my on this list, but number 5 on my total list.
Yeah,
I guess.
top 5. Number 5.
Chicago tavern style pizza, like rolled out, cooked longer, cracker crust. I like green peppers and pepperoni. on it.
Okay.
and
That sounds good.
and just Parmesan cheese on top, just amazing. The thing about this pizza is you don't get this in Houston, except for one place.
Pizza Hut.
No, it's Keneally's Irish Pub. That's like a Chicago-based Irish, like the guys who started it are from Chicago, I guess.
Interesting.
And so they cook a tavern style Chicago style pizza, and I just really enjoy it. You can eat like a whole pizza because it's like it's just
Those are
nothing.
my kind of pizzas, and you don't feel like super heavy after. That's what I like.
Yeah, it's just really, it's nice. It's a total change. It's just, I've got a ton of styles on my list. So, I think that next, I'm also going back to Chicago. I like the deep dish pizza.
This is number 4.
This is number 4.
So deep dish makes your top 5.
Absolutely.
I'm impressed. That tells me you eat it on a more frequent, an inconsistent, consistent basis.
Here's the thing. I don't eat it often, but when I do, I love it.
Okay.
And on this one, you don't need much. Sausage, cheese, sauce on top, nice crackery crust, all that kind of stuff. And I like pecorino on the top of mine,
Okay,
rather
I'm good with
than
that. A little
than
salty,
Parmesan. Get a little salty.
Well, and when you make the Chicago, what I like about it is, when you get your crust and you form it in, I do it in a cast iron or whatever those deep dish pans are that they
Yeah.
have. You got to have that layer of provolone at the bottom.
I agree. I agree.
That
And I
makes a
totally
huge difference.
whiffed on that, but
Yeah.
yes, I agree with you completely. Here's the other thing about this pizza, and there's in my list, in a lot of ways, is like nostalgia, and I've done this before, and probably not the right thing to do, but this is what I think like fondly on moments in my life. So this Chicago tavern style pizza, I used to, like, my first job out of college, I was going to the Midwest a lot, and just got exposed to that style of pizza. It was so different than where I was from and all that kind of stuff. I just really loved it. The deep dish pizza, again, going to Chicago a lot, going to the Midwest a lot, enjoyed the heck out of that. And I remember the first deep dish pizza I had, I'm like, what? You got to wait 45 minutes for like a pizza? Like, I mean, but the cool thing was there was football on, we were drinking beer, you know, all this kind of stuff, waiting on the pizza to come. And the experience is part of the,
Absolutely.
you know, the whole thing.
If you ever go to Geno's East in Chicago, you know, while you're waiting, everybody writes messages on the
Yep,
on
I've
the booths and the walls.
done
and-
it a few times. Yes. So there's something cool about that. So anyway, that's number 4 on the list. Number 3, Detroit style pizza. So this particular pizza, actually, I had it in Houston at this place called Pizarro's. Pizarro's has like 2 locations in Houston. I don't think they're like a national chain or anything like that. So they do a Detroit, but what they do on one of their pizzas is they actually do a stuffed, like in the middle, ricotta. So you've got a layer of Detroit ricotta, another layer of the Detroit crust, cheese, and then I always add a little sprinkle of Italian sausage on the top of it. And I like to have they do it this way, and I think this is a good way to do it. They actually give you sauce on the side to dunk.
So no sauce on the.
No sauce on the
So I'm
pizza.
used to Detroit having like the 3
Yep,
raceways.
Yep,
Yeah.
and that's normal. That's normal. This is abnormal.
Okay.
But I think it works with this pizza.
Okay.
You almost described pizza lasagna to me, right? With the dough and the filling.
Sounds
and
like
the
a
dough.
Big
and
Yeah.
Mac. Sounds like a Big Mac.
So
Is there a special
Bun,
sauce in there?
bun in the middle,
Yeah.
bun on each
cheese
side.
in the middle,
Yeah.
you know. But like what I'll say, and I'm gonna like rip this off totally from like One Bite reviews. I like a Detroit to be. It looks like a linebacker, but it's light on its feet. You know, like you take a bite of a Detroit, you go, wow, that's surprisingly light. Like
Yeah, and for me, I love Detroit pizzas, but to me, I like simple, and they are simple. To me, you don't load those up. So it's like, it's either a cheese or it's a one meat for me. You know, whether it's a pepperoni, Italian sausage, whatever. But I'm not putting like a supreme, because the star of that is the crust and the cheese that's cooked below. And it's almost like a
focaccia bread.
That's
in
what
a
I was
way,
going to say,
you
a
know?
focaccia pizza, yeah.
Yeah, so I really, really enjoy that pizza.
Yeah.
And number 1, I mean, just going to be like, it's not a margarita.
Is this number 1? Wait. What was number
I think
5?
we missed number 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I did 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm sorry. I did miss one. Okay, number 2. New York style pizza, like thin, not a lot of crust, you know, just enough crust. Crispy, meatball, and ricotta.
Okay.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
A little my extra topping on there is a little olive oil that's been spiced with some red pepper. So some red pepper flake type olive oil drizzled over the top. Love that.
Okay. That's a good one.
So final pizza on here is I'm not I'll say this. Neapolitan style pizza, I'm not a big fan.
Really?
Don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like floppy pizzas, and generally speaking, they're floppy.
I don't think they're cooked right.
Yeah, but if you look at like traditional Neapolitan style pizzas,
Are they floppy?
they are.
Yeah,
Are they really?
and they almost look like they're undercooked in the middle.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So-
I agree with you.
I'm not a huge fan of that. So if I'm gonna have a Neapolitan style, I want it cooked, well done. You know, to where it has a bit of a crisp to it.
Yep.
So I'm going to say my number 1 is a margarita, I guess, pizza. So tomatoes, basil, mozzarella, You know?
Wait, when you say tomatoes, are you going like an olive oil brush with fresh tomatoes, like Roma tomato sliced, or are you still going a red sauce and then your dollops of fresh mozzarella and then some basil?
So I'll also say this: I hate fresh mozzarella like in big lumps on pizza.
Like to pull it apart and just drop it on?
Yep, I don't like it.
Oh, really?
I agree with that.
It adds a lot of moisture to the pizza, and I don't think that's a good thing for pizza.
Okay.
So I like it just on its own.
You should get the skim low moisture.
Oh, good Lord! No, I don't want to do that either. But here's how I build this pizza. I add the basil totally after the cook. Like I want like fresh
Tear it
basil
apart,
taste.
fresh. Yep.
I like that. Chiffoned or something like that is fine. I prefer that. What I do with the tomatoes is very different. I actually roast the tomatoes completely separately from cooking the pizza. Again, it's a moisture thing. So what I'll do is I'll take cherry tomatoes, cut them in half, and then drizzle olive oil and maybe a little oregano, salt and pepper, that kind of stuff. Put them on top, put them in the oven, and roast them. Okay, drives all of the moisture out of it, and then you just basically cook a cheese pizza, but you just add these things on top of it at the end.
Okay.
That sounds good.
And it just really to me, nobody does margarita pizza right. Do not get a tomato and just put it on the pizza. It's going to absorb into the damn crust, and it's going to make it floppy.
So
wet.
When I make my sauce, I try to get as much of the water out. So I use the canned San Marzan, and I put it into a strainer, and I'm pushing out a lot of the water because the same thing is I don't want a floppy pizza, so I try to get as much of that moisture out as I can to remove that.
And I completely agree with that. Like, even if I'm using whole tomatoes on a pizza, my wife really likes tomatoes.
Yeah.
I put them out on paper towels, dry them, all that kind of stuff before I put them on pizza, because that moisture will kill your crust.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's my list. Whether it's good or not, who knows?
Man, I thought going into tonight there would be some I guess because I'm a simple guy, thought there'd be some simple pies listed as a favorite, in the top 5. Maybe some specially. You guys are some pizza connoisseurs. I'm impressed with your.
Well, my number one was a margarita-ish pizza.
Yeah.
So. Just very technical.
Technical, though. Yeah.
It better not be a tomato that hasn't been drying off with a paper towel.
I don't want. Hey, dude, I don't want a flaccid pizza.
I'm with you. I'm impressed at your list. I thought we would have a couple, what people might think are, traditional toppings, but you guys are high class, high end pizza dudes.
Well, what you got, Rob?
I'm a little embarrassed to say now.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I already know what his number one is.
Yeah, you do.
But I'm gonna.
Carter probably knows.
I'm gonna
too.
hold off and not say anything.
Number 5 for me is a pizza I like to make when crawfish season is in.
Oh no!
Yeah,
you're doing that pizza
After he called us, going that his were all simple and ours.
It's downhill from here.
Now.
I mean, crawfish on pizza.
Yeah.
All right,
It's downhill from here. But there's a pizza. We did this, a few years ago. My son, when he was in high school, we had a big cookout, did a crawfish boil, and I had the pizza oven fired up. We were doing pizza, and somebody was like, let's make a crawfish pizza. I was like, not a bad idea. So anyway, ended up doing that. I made a cilantro kind of avocado sauce and kind of a creamier type of sauce. And then I made a chipotle sauce. And what I do is I'll make the dough, and I'll just put some mozzarella cheese on top. It's just olive oil, brushed with olive oil, little garlic, mozzarella cheese, cook it in and kind of get it cooked almost 70% or so. Pull it out, top it then with your crawfish tails all over. Back in just to finish the crust, let the crawfish tails kind of warm up. Pull it out, little olive oil, little fresh Parmesan cheese on top. Both sauces kind of zigzag both ways. and it's a hit during
Sounds
crawfish.
terrible.
That sounds good.
Does it sound terrible?
Yeah. Can we have one tonight?
Yeah. You got some fresh crawfish?
Exactly.
It's a fun pizza, and it's
Yeah.
pretty good. And a lot of people knock on seafood on pizza, but there's a few.
Yeah, crawfish I think holds up though.
I think so.
Depends on where you are
Same
in the
with
country, right? I mean,
yeah.
if you're in
Same with shrimp, I mean-
Louisiana, it's expected probably.
Yeah. Well, I've been to pizza places in New Orleans and different places in Louisiana that have crawfish on top of pizza, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, how different is it from shrimp, really? I mean, putting like a margarita pizza with some shrimp that's been sauteed in garlic butter.
I'd be fine with that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Here's what I would say. There's a style of pizza, a type of cook and style that I've never had that I hope someday I get to do this. And they're most famous for a seafood on a pizza. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Connecticut. The
New
white
Haven.
clams.
New Haven.
White
clams.
clams.
They put
Pete's.
the clams
Is it
on there.
Pete's?
Huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
Pete's is the number one pizza
Yep.
in America.
Well,
voted
yeah.
according to Food
Another guy
Network,
came
right?
out and said Oregon has the best pizza in the country, but
Oregon?
yeah.
They've been smoking dope.
Yeah, they're too high to know what they're eating any day of the
Man,
week
this
anyway.
is so good.
I've never
They just got the munchies.
yeah.
I've never had New Haven pizza. I've never had coal-fired pizza, where you're actually cooking with coal.
I have.
I've had wood-fired.
Lombardi's.
Was that coal-fired?
Coal-fired.
Was it really?
Yeah, because they're grandfathered in, so they're still able to use a coal burning.
Were you able to see the oven?
No.
Okay.
I've had coal fire a few times in New York.
Because I've seen some of those old coal-fired pizza ovens on, some pizza shows that are, 100 years old.
Yeah.
Where it is huge in there, and their pizza peel is, 14 feet long to set all these pies in
Yeah.
there. But to your point about seafood, some people knock it, but if you think about it, the most famous pizza, maybe the most popular pizza, has seafood on it. The white clam pizza from New Haven, Connecticut.
I'm not against it.
On my list of pizzas I hope someday to
Yeah. I'm in on
Yeah,
that.
definitely. That would be delicious.
Number 4 for me, and I, like you, I like to play with doughs, but I like to play with the hydration, because if I want a thin crust, kind of crispy, hand-tossed thin, kind of in that kind of genre, I very low hydration, 55 to 58%. And then if I want a big kind of bally end of the dough making a margarita, then I'll get up to, almost usually around 70% hydration. Water hydration, meaning if I got 1,000 grams of flour, I'm going to put 700 grams of water. It's just the percentage of water to flour. And it makes a difference on the type of crust you get. And it's a lot of fun. It's kind of, till I got into pizza, I didn't realize how geeky and, another rabbit hole to go down to as far as experimenting and trying things. I just thought you just make a dough, but there's a lot of variations you can do. But my favorite is a thin crust, no doubt. I will eat a margarita, and I like a margarita once in a while, kind of like a Chicago style, with the big round dough. It's my wife's favorite. She would rather me eat all the ingredients and then give her the crust.
Nice.
Your wife that way?
That's
or
my
not?
wife too.
No.
She's like,
Your wife too?
When my kids are eating pizza, she's like, I want the crust.
Yeah, that's my wife all the time. She'll
See,
be like,
now I love the crust. I'll be like,
Do you really?
Oh,
"Just
I
me
don't
the
give her my crust. That's
You
mine.
don't leave the bones, man. You gotta eat
Oh,
that.
I eat it all. Yeah.
So thin crust is my favorite. I like going to the edge. I don't want to see a big, poofed up ball of dough. I like it very thin and crispy, and I agree with you guys when you say that. Number 4 for me is a thin crust pizza. And again, I do an uncooked sauce always. I used to do a cooked sauce, and then I did some experimenting, watched some other people talk about sauces, and I do think an uncooked sauce is better because the tomatoes shine a little bit more. You're not cooking that flavor out and covering it up with oregano and garlic and basil and things like that.
I used to cook my sauce,
I did
and I would
too.
put wine in it. I would put sugar in it, all that stuff. And to your point, it completely changes the taste of the sauce. I look at it, and I love Pizza Hut. I'm not ashamed to say that. I could tell they cook their sauce. It's so thick and rich.
They probably put some tomato paste in there to help thicken it up.
Absolutely,
a little bit.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I like a thin crust, uncooked sauce, and my next pizza is just a light kind of olive oil, a light kind of sprinkling of mozzarella cheese, whole milk mozzarella, some prosciutto on there, and then some fried capers,
Nice.
Oh,
and then we're going to put
capers.
some a little.
And he
salt.
said that he likes simple pizza.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
simple.
not heard of mini caper
No.
pizza.
Well, remember we did it that night.
Oh, yeah.
And so it climbed the list for me. So it's actually got light sauce, the light mozzarella, and then you put your dollops of ricotta, and then your prosciutto. Well, you put the prosciutto, then the ricotta,
Yep.
and then you do your fried capers. You fry them up in a little oil.
Well, okay, that's what I was going to ask. You fry them up. How do you?
Just
In a pan.
saute pan, get them
Saute
fried
pan.
up, put them on there, and then just finish it with some fresh pecorino romano or some Parmesan with olive oil, a little dash of oregano, and it's a very
That was
tasty
excellent.
pizza.
I wonder how much similarity the capers are to people putting sardines on, because both of them are very salt based, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the things with the capers. I rinse them,
Okay.
and then when you fry them, you lose a lot of that brine.
Okay.
And so, but I will tell you, to your point on sardines, I'm not opposed to sardines on a pizza. I
either.
thought I was until a friend of mine came over for a pizza night, and he's like, "Can we please do sardines?" And I was like, "I'll do it for you."
Yeah.
And I tried it, and I went, "That's pretty freaking good."
I haven't. I don't know if I've ever had it.
Yeah, I had neither until then, and I went,
They're very salty, so you got to be careful with how you use
Yes.
them.
Yes.
So,
And, it's not like every bite you're going to get some. You got to
Right.
put it kind of sparingly because
Yeah.
they can overwhelm your system for sure.
I don't like the fishy quality of sardines. Like it's very fishy to me. But I'm good with the salt, and I
Right.
agree. You have to be sparing with them if
Yeah.
you're using
Yeah.
them.
Number 3 for me is the Carter Special, which is same thin crust dough, brushed with olive oil, some minced up garlic spread out over the top, and then we're going to put some prosciutto on there. We're going to put some goat cheese. We're going to cook that in the oven, get it to where it's just about, or not just about done, get it to where it's done. Pull it out. We're going to put on some arugula all over the top, some fig balsamic vinegar to finish it off.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we're going to eat away. And Carter's Special.
That's awesome.
Yeah, especially for me.
That's my wife's favorite pizza. It's one that I don't know when we started making that years ago, but ever since then, when we do a pizza night, it'll be on the list tonight because she's like, "I want my pizza," and I'm like, "Okay, we'll make your pizza." That's why I said I have arugula.
all right.
That balsamic reduction on top of arugula is just amazing.
It's me and you, most of us, I'm sure, guys, meat guys, big meats and stuff. It is a pizza that I really enjoy.
Yep.
With the balsamic and the arugula and everything on there. I know Carter doesn't, but maybe we'll just put spinach on his.
That's right.
I don't like spinach either.
Are you serious? Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, I'll eat it on a salad, but
I don't want
pizza.
spinach on my pizza either.
Yeah.
I don't either. I just figured you'd be okay with spinach.
No.
Like in a salad, I like spinach, but I thought
I don't like lettucey stuff on my pizza. I just don't.
I would, in general, I would agree with you, but I think there's exceptions to every rule.
A lot of people like the arugula thing. My wife likes the arugula thing. I just don't like arugula.
I'll tell you this: if you ask me on a pizza topping, I'm not a chicken guy. I'm gonna.
Me either.
But when you say smoked chicken, I'm
Okay.
going.
Changes it up.
That changes the game completely.
I agree.
I would never put regular chicken on a
No.
pizza.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, because like dried
smoked-
up chicken breast.
Because
I mean,
I've
that's
had
terrible.
people go, "Can you just cook some chicken and put it in like a barbecue sauce?" I'm like, no.
No.
Not doing that. Sorry.
Nope.
But smoked chicken. Anytime you add smoke to something, it's just another layer.
elevates it.
It just changes it completely.
Now I'd challenge the smoked chicken and say smoked pork is going to be better than smoked chicken. But
Yeah, but chicken you
We'll
can do
see.
in 3.5 hours.
We'll see if I can convince you otherwise tonight.
okay, yeah, no, I'm good. You know,
Yeah. Because back in the day when California Pizza Kitchen was a thing, one of their most popular pizzas was their barbecued chicken pizza. And it's like, no.
no.
Okay, I've got
I tried it, but I just couldn't get into it.
I got number 2 and number 1 coming up. But before I get there, you bring up a good question. If you're going to order pizza from somewhere, do you go to a craft kind of mom and pop kind of shop that's local and makes pizza locally? Or do you, like Mark's lead, go to Pizza Hut or Papa John's or Domino's? I will say this. I'm not a hater of Domino's pizza.
No, me either.
not bad.
Especially since they revamped it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I haven't had Pizza Hut in a long time.
Yeah, I have. haven't had Pizza Hut in years and years. That used to be my absolute favorite because they would always cook the crust crispy and it would stand up.
Yeah.
But I'm really not aware of, I know y'all have some different options up here in Katy, but in Sugarland, mom and pop pizza
Not a lot
places,
of
we
them.
don't I don't know of any. So so it ends up being our absolute favorite if we're going to order pizzas from Grimaldi's.
Okay. They're brick oven. They're brick oven, so they do a good
They're
job.
pretty good. Honestly.
I agree. I agree.
So, like, I kind of do a combination of both, right? Like I was mentioning Pizarro's. There's a couple other Bollo. I don't know if that's a chain or not, but it's a wood-fired pizza place. I like those places, but like we order Domino's thin crust all the time.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's fantastic. So
Yeah, I mean, in our house, it all comes down to I'm not cooking tonight. I want someone else to cook, so I want pizza. I live in Cyprus, so the options are not really there. What I will do is I will order Pizza Hut. My wife and kids will get Marco's Pizza or somewhere else. So we're
Marco's isn't terrible.
We're always ordering different things, but I will take the Pizza Hut, and it's a canvas for me. I want double sauce on it, and then I bring it in. I put it on a pizza stone or pizza steel in the oven. I put a bunch of stuff on top
So
of
in
it.
other words, you are cooking that night.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't want to cook, but
Pretty much.
I was thinking it. Dave said it.
All right, you called me out on it.
Yeah. So I'll say this too, like, and I've done this before. I don't know if they're supposed to do this or not, but like Domino's is not far from my house. Like I can drive there and ask to buy dough balls from them, and I've done it before. When you know, it's like this. Like I was talking to somebody earlier about this. Pizza, there's a bit of planning involved. You've got to, work your dough the day before and all that kind of stuff. If you just sort of like in a situation, I want pizza. I kind of want to cook tonight. It's not a bad option just to go and pick up a couple dough balls from.
Totally agree.
You know, Whole Foods. It does it too.
Not only Whole Foods,
Nice.
Trader Joe's, $2
Yep.
for a nice pizza ball. A bag of dough that's really good.
It's kind of like a last minute decision. You're like, man, I really want to cook some pizza tonight, but damn, I didn't make the dough like yesterday or whatever. It's not a bad option.
I will tell you, you can make same day dough. Within 2 hours, you can have dough. But to your point, if you're not in the mood to do that, you just want to make a pizza. A dough ball already ready to go from Trader Joe's or Whole Foods is and from your pizza shop. We used to have Double Dave's out here.
Yep.
And I could get a pizza ball, a 14-inch ball, what they call their large one, for $2.39 a ball.
wow.
Yeah.
And I used to do that a lot. They left, closed down, and so I have it's the one that I can't think of it right now, but it's a local. I call it a chain because they're in Houston, multiple locations, but they want $5 a ball, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just make a dough.
Yeah,
real
$5
quick.
is too much, but $2
Yeah.
is nothing.
Yeah.
Two's nothing. Yeah. But for me, I have a place out here that, we did a show there, Carter. That is my pizza
Oh yeah,
place.
Rosas.
Rosas.
Rosas was very good.
It's a guy and his wife from Italy, and they came to New York first and then moved to Houston because family came down here, and they opened up a little pizzeria. And it's that New York style pizzeria where you walk in and they've got the glass counter and you can get it by the slice and he throws it in the oven, or you can order a
Nice.
pie and he's got different stuff, and we can take wine up there. So it might
Yeah.
be maybe a pizza night out one night or something. But
And we learned a trick: order it well done.
yeah, extra crispy
Yep.
for the New York style. Yeah.
Cool.
We have in Cyprus, there's a Brothers Pizza. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's the
Yeah,
same-
yeah, we have one near us too.
Highway
in
6
Houston.
right down here in
It's
Houston.
pretty good for New York style pizza.
Yeah, I would say I like Brothers, but I prefer Rosas.
Yeah, I've never had Rosas.
Yeah, a lot of people don't
Now
even
I
know
gotta-
about it. He
now I gotta
doesn't
check it out.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of advertising and things like that. He makes some good pastas. What's always fun is I'll go up there and see him and his son because it's a family little operation, and they're either cooking dinner where he's making something off the menu, like a risotto or something. I'm like, okay, dude,
Yeah.
if you're gonna make it like that, it needs to be available. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he dries his own meats in the back. He took me in back, showed me his freezer where he's curing his meats and doing
Nice.
everything. And so
Very
that's
cool.
my local place. And then there's a place called Palio's, only because my wife likes their Hawaiian sunrise. with cashews and pineapple and Canadian bacon and all this stuff. And Mark's making that face.
Yeah.
Like,
That's not pizza.
but my
Talk
wife
about
says it is.
moisture on a pizza.
Exactly.
Put a piece of pineapple on it.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, I don't hate on pineapple.
Oh, me either.
Okay.
I actually don't either, but like just a round pineapple on a pizza.
No, these are just little pieces cut up.
Chunks, yeah.
You might as well put broccoli on the pizza and just totally ruin
What's
it.
wrong with that?
Yeah, I've never had that, but I would do it. Okay, so number 2 for me. Again, I'm a thin crust guy, so I'm back to my thin crust. And Sandra's pouring wine, so we're all putting our hands up on who wants some.
me.
Thin crust. I am a huge fan of Italian sauces. Let me ask you guys: are you spicy or just medium or mild? On
All
your
of it.
It doesn't matter as
Doesn't
long as
matter.
it's
I
Italian.
love it.
Italian
I love
sausage
Italian
is
sausage.
the absolute shit. I love it.
I prefer spicy. I usually don't
prefer
buy it.
spicy, yes.
Yeah. I don't buy it spicy because there's a lot of people who don't like it that way. So when we do pizza night, we have guests over, I usually buy the mild or the medium because I know some people just don't like it.
I'm kind of with you on that because I prefer to like control my own spice
Yeah.
on it. So I'll buy like the mild Italian sausage
Throw
so
some
I
red
can,
pepper flakes on it.
if I want to put pepper flakes or jalapenos or something like that, then that's how I control the spice.
Absolutely. So mine is thin crust, Italian sausage. Well, obviously the sauce, uncooked sauce, my tomato sauce, Italian sausage. Now, listen, when you do mushrooms on a pizza, one thing that's taboo for me is just to buy some fresh mushrooms and throw them on. To me, they have to be sauteed.
Absolutely.
Mushrooms become way better in some really good olive oil and butter.
And a little bit of salt.
Oh, I always do salt to draw out that moisture and get. And it's funny.
Yep.
Luis was over a couple weeks ago, and we did that episode on desserts, and we did a pizza night, and he was like, "I've never done sautéed mushrooms. I only buy fresh mushrooms."
Holy cow.
I'm like,
Oh,
dude, you're
no.
missing it. And he had them that night, and he went, "Okay, yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
game
the way.
changer.
It's a game changer."
But for me, mushrooms, I love mushrooms. And when you
Me
said
too.
truffle oil, I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if they're sauteed, if they're raw, I love mushrooms but I can
love
see how that would elevate it to saute them in a little butter, garlic,
Have to.
salt, and put them on the pizza.
then
but,
you put them on the pizza.
But I'm good with them
Anyway,
fresh, right on the pizza.
I would take them that way, but to
they
me,
just don't impart a lot of flavor.
I'm
a
gonna
little
call you,
earthiness, but
and I might call you lazy. If I'm going to eat your pizza, do it right, dude. Don't get lazy on
come
me.
on now.
Well,
Give me good pie.
for me, like with the mushroom thing, it's the moisture component. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever made like a duxelle or something like that, like you see
For
how
a
much
beef Wellington?
Yeah.
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 You see how much moisture is in a mushroom.
There's a reason why you don't wash mushrooms
exactly.
underwater.
Yes.
Well, and it's funny because most people would bite a fresh mushroom, and go,
I think they're dry.
It's dry.
They're dry.
Yeah. No.
They're
No.
not.
No.
Yeah,
They're
fun,
not.
It's funny. But I absolutely see how people who don't cook with them a lot might think that they're not a
Right.
lot of moisture in them. There's just a ton.
Another thing for me on mushrooms is fresh mushrooms on a pizza. It has a funny texture component for me.
Me too. I agree 100%.
Kind of rubbery.
Yeah, I'm not like great on that, but if you have a sautéed mushroom, it's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
it blends in more, but the fresh mushroom, it just kind of stands out like it just doesn't work well.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a bad texture.
I disagree.
It's bad texture.
But I can understand where if you're a texture, and I'm a texture type eater
For some things.
for some things, but yeah, I can understand where you're coming with the fresh mushrooms and how they
Yeah.
present.
I'll eat them. Like if I make a salad at a salad bar somewhere, I'm putting fresh mushrooms
Oh,
on
yeah,
it.
I don't mind that
I
at
love
all.
them.
Yep.
But when I come to pizza, to elevate the pizza game, sauteed just
Yep. Had never even
levels it up.
like Luis had never eaten a sauteed mushroom. It's like, well, I can't comprehend that, but I've
Yeah.
never even thought about sauteing the mushrooms first and then putting them on the
And
pizza.
then put them on the pizza. That's it.
I'm
So-
all about that life.
So my number 2 is Italian sausage. Let me tell you this: I'm okay with ground Italian sausage, but it's not my first choice.
Right.
I'm always a Lynx guy.
Yep.
Cut it.
I
thin
like
on
the
ground
bias.
better.
Huh?
I like ground better.
you really?
Yeah.
Take it
people
out
do.
of the casing.
Some people do.
Well, the,
I
the
like
reason
to cut
I
it
like
thin.
it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, thin like like you would a pepperoni or something, and put these pieces of Italian sausage all over instead of the ground beef kind of style.
Right.
mushrooms sauteed, black olives, jalapeno. It's just,
Wow.
Italian sausage, mushrooms, black olives, jalapeno. That's number 2. And when it comes out, obviously, finish it with a little. Every pie I cook, a little drizzle of some good olive oil and a little bit of fresh Parmesan cheese with some oregano on top. Every pie.
I think I'm gonna like that pizza,
We're
but
making
it's
it
a
tonight.
lot of toppings for
No, it's
me.
not. It's 4 toppings. A meat
To me,
plus
4
3.
is too much.
He said 3 was his max.
Yeah.
So you won't have a piece.
No, I'll have a piece.
Okay.
Well, I got to be proven wrong somehow.
That's
and,
right.
And
He
you're
may
about
ex-
to.
Yeah, okay.
He may expand to 4 toppings now.
Yeah. All right, 4
New
toppings.
rule. New rule.
That's my max.
Yeah. And my number 1 pizza.
Cheese.
Thank you, Dave.
I knew it. I knew it.
Oh, I mean, I know it too.
Yeah.
My wife will tell you, as a pizza guy, and I've dubbed myself a pizza guy. When anywhere we travel or go, if we go to a new pizza place, we might order 1 pizza with whatever toppings she wants. But I am getting a cheese because I want to know how well you cook your crust, how good is your sauce, and what kind of cheese are you using. That tells me a lot about what kind of pizza joint you are.
Yep.
And a good New York thin crust, crispy cheese pizza. It's just with a good bottle of wine.
My mouth
usually
is watering.
Yeah.
It's just one of my favorites, and it's number 1 for me. I don't think again, pizza sometimes can be better, can be good, and again, I finish it with a little olive oil, a little oregano on top, and to me, oregano screams Italian, and so on a pizza. I'm just a big fan of oregano, or I have this other seasoning Italian blend of some different herbs that are in there. But I just like that finishing a pizza.
Yep. I agree with you. I love cheese. I mean, that's one of my favorites.
Yep. So that's my list. Okay, we can knock out a couple of honorable mentions if you guys got some. We covered so many. I can't imagine.
I've got a couple.
The only other one that I can think of is we made it one night over here, and my wife sent you the recipe.
Yes.
And I thought there is no way that I'm going to like that pizza.
Tell them the ingredients. Do you remember what they are? I think the thing that threw you off were the figs.
Figs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
it's like
figs.
there is no way I'm going to like a fig on a pizza. And I'll be damned if
Your favorite of
that
the night.
was the favorite of the night. And we had some damn good pizzas that night.
What kind of
but
did you have, like gorgonzola or blue cheese?
we
with
had
it?
goat cheese,
Okay.
fig,
prosciutto.
and-
Yummy.
Yeah, dude, it was delicious.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and it sold me because I thought to myself, I'm more of a savory person. I don't like sweet with my meat. I don't like
Difference.
so
Yeah.
So when I thought fig with prosciutto and goat cheese, no way. But man, it was
I
killer.
make that
worked.
every so often, and I do love it. It's
Yeah,
good.
It was killer.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's on my list.
All right.
As well as a honorable mention, the fig, prosciutto, goat cheese, balsamic drizzle on
Yep.
top.
Yep.
That to me is an amazing pizza.
It was killer.
And I to kind of get a little bit more into like specifics on what I like on that pizza. I actually like more of a Neapolitan type of pizza on that, with the really puffy crust. Like I you know how like when you make a Neapolitan, you kind of push it out,
Yep.
Right.
and form the puffy crust on
Yep.
the outside.
Air pockets.
I like that
Yeah.
on that pizza.
Sounds delicious to me.
You have one, Mark?
Octopus.
Yeah, I mean, I put smoked duck on pizzas, octopus. I don't really have one. I think what it comes down to is I'll go into the fridge and see what I have, and I'll just throw everything on there, and it's going to be different every time. So I've made some crazy pizzas that have stuff on it that I'm never going to be able to recreate that
Because that's just what you
Yeah.
had at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I'll give you two. One's a category, and one is an actual pizza that I think needs to be mentioned. The category is breakfast pizza. You mentioned
Yep.
it for Christmas that your family, your mom does that. And I have done breakfast pizza a few times now, and it is absolutely delicious with the bacon and the eggs. And I've done one with the fresh eggs cracked and then
yeah,
throw them in
that's
there, and it's
great.
runny.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, breakfast pizza if you haven't had it or tried, and, that's probably a tough one because I don't think pizza joints are open where you can go out and get a breakfast pizza from them. I know in Missouri, where I'm from, there's a couple of pizza places that actually open up only on the weekends making breakfast pizzas, and they're very, very popular. So, maybe look around and ask if you haven't. But if you get the opportunity to either have one or, make one. Do it at home. Like you said, Mark, a pizza steel, a pizza stone in your oven, 550. It still cooks really good pizza. So breakfast pizza is something you probably should try. It's really, really good. The next one I'm going to say is one that I think everybody knows is the universal, probably a favorite for most people, maybe number one for most people, just a good pepperoni pizza. I think, when you get to and it's got to be a good quality pepperoni, something sliced from the deli, if it can be, it's just got to be good pepperoni. But I think, it's one I enjoy. Pepperoni didn't make my top 5 because I do prefer Italian sausage over pepperoni.
Same.
Yeah.
But pepperoni deserves to be at least mentioned because I think it's a solid pizza. I know it's an American thing.
Yep.
Italians don't have pepperoni.
No.
So here's an interesting question based off of that comment. We all named our top 5 pizzas. Think back to when you were a kid growing up. What is it that you had all the time as a kid growing up, and how much did that influence your top 5? So obviously, I guarantee it influenced yours, Rob, with the cheese pizza.
No. As a kid, I was
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot of octopus.
Is that what, okay, cool.
With smoked duck.
From Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Mussels and I just have one pizza.
Yeah, a lot of beaches in Missouri.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. I think that does, drive it. But I will say this, I think growing up, kind of like most foods for me growing up, I didn't get into foods until probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago, really dove in and started enjoying foods and cooking with quality things and making good dishes. It was burgers or pizza was just filler food. It was something quick to eat.
Something.
And, burgers were
When
that
you
way.
didn't plan out a meal, that's what you got.
Go back to, Mark, I don't know how old you are. I'm in my early 50s. But when you go back to when I was a kid, burgers were just, you go to McDonald's and got a Happy Meal or a Big Mac or whatever, whatever. Now look at the gourmet burger places that are
In and out.
burgers. Well, not even just
the
in and out.
gastropubs, yeah.
Yeah, gastropubs, but even like Five Guys blows away any kind of
man.
burger
Yeah.
place, or you go to Beck's Prime, or you go to these places that are deemed themselves gourmet burger kind of places.
Right.
I think of Shake Shack, really comes along as a gourmet burger type place. So I think pizza's kind of followed along in that. I think for a couple of reasons. I think local pizza places have really popped up where people have said, I can make something way better than a Pizza Hut Domino. There's a place for Pizza Hut Domino's and Papa John's.
Yeah, sure.
Don't want to cook tonight.
Yeah. But there's also a place for Rosa's Pizza here in Katy and some really Pink's Pizza in Houston and places like that. There's Star Pizza that does a pretty good job. Places like that. So I think pizza's really, and then the home chef.
Yeah.
Because now we get into pizza.
We're much more educated. Now
Way more.
we know what we want.
And you have the tools. I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't used to have a tabletop pizza oven that you could go
900 degrees on.
right, hook up to a propane bottle and have.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were kids, like when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet,
Right.
and we didn't have Amazon and all that kind of stuff where you could order something that
at
was
your fingertips.
cool like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I also will say, kind of going off of your comments of, you've got your chain pizzas and then you've got other people. Those other independent owners are competing with each other and they're elevating their game.
Yep.
Like in I can tell you in Houston, we're lacking as a pizza town. I agree.
Yeah.
100% say that.
Yes.
But I'll say it's getting better.
So how often do you guys look up? So if I'm going to a football game, a basketball game, whatever, the first thing I'm doing is where are the local pizza places? And I will join, I'll reach out to all the different Facebook food groups and be like, hey, I'm going to be at the Toyota Center. I want a good pizza place. Or I'm going to the Reliance Center for the football game. Where should I go for pizza? And I'm crowdsourcing all this information because I want the best pizza. And actually, that's how I found out about the best pizza place that I think is in Houston is Gypsy Poet.
Yep, I was going to say Gypsy Poet is
there we go.
Never been there.
Never heard of it.
It is
Neither have I.
insanely good. The hours suck. But oh my gosh, this place actually they were just on Barstool.
Yeah, Barstool.
Oh, did he really? I knew he was here in Houston, but I didn't know.
I think he gave it a 7.8, but he said it was cold, and he was like,
because it
"Man,
was
if
delivered
this-"
to him.
Yeah, like at Specs, he was doing a promotion or something like that for High Noon, which is like I guess his like little seltzer brand or whatever.
I knew he was at Longhorn too.
Yeah, so I think he got that pizza cold, and he even mentioned in the review, he's like, man, this might be in the 8s if this was like fresh pizza.
For my kids' birthdays, if I'm like, what do you want for your birthday? Several times they've said Gypsy Poet. We will drive from Cypress all the way downtown.
Is it downtown?
Yeah,
It's downtown to get the pizza, eat it, and then come home. So
Okay, that might be
it's
a
an
night
hour
out.
each way just to get pizza.
it's good.
Can we take wine there?
They have
they
their
have
own
it.
wine.
Oh,
I know, but
it's
can
a
I
great
take
place.
wine
It's a
there?
very
Yeah.
it's a very awesome place. They have like music and it's a very neighborhood friendly type place.
I'd like to check it out. I never heard of it like you, Dave.
Same.
I'd like to. If
Unassuming place, I
Okay.
can say that.
Yeah.
well, you saw me kind of tease there. Pizza, beverage to wash it down. Favorite. A lot of people go Coke. A lot of people go
Diet
wine.
Mountain Dew.
Diet Dew.
Nobody says Diet Dew. And Dave
Those
Scott
people are-
Dave Scott won't tonight.
No. No, I
Favorite beverage with pizza.
I prefer red wine
I'm with you.
with
red
with
wine.
pizza. You know
Champagne.
Yeah,
Really?
That hell yeah,
baller.
That's good too. Absolutely. But back to your college days when it was beer and pizza.
Yeah.
No, that's just way too heavy.
I used to be a Coke guy. I liked a Coke with a slice of pizza sometimes.
So I'm thinking about the beer comment, and I agree. It's too much.
Yeah.
But as a beer guy, kind of, or a former like beer nerd, a Belgian style beer that was really bright.
Yep.
Had a lot of effervescent, like yeasty notes and citrus to it. I could see that working.
Well, sure. I mean, we can find exceptions to all these, but
Yeah.
But I agree. You got to pair it just like anything else.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why champagne is the best.
See, I'll show my
and I-
age of being around 50. When I was drinking beer with pizza, we didn't have the gourmet beers that we
Right.
have now, right? So when I'm eating pizzas, earlier I was referencing like the Wrecker with a lot of spice and all this. I want ice cold beer because I can't chug red wine. Right now, even though I had spice on my pizza, it's all about red wine, and for me, it's a cab. It's just if it's not a cab, it's a Shiraz. I want that
Yep.
I do like
big
Shiraz.
body, bold flavor, a little bit of fruit in there that's going to mix with the variety of flavors that comes with the varieties of pizzas that I'm going to put out one night.
I'm gonna go Brunello.
Baller. Chianti. Baller. Oh, Jesus.
You know, though, if we do a spicy pizza, cracking a Riesling's not a bad idea.
No, that sounds really good.
Sounds delicious. But you know what we would have to do?
What?
Fire up the pizza oven and start getting ready.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
we probably need to do
it's about time for that.
Actually, I do have one question, and we didn't talk about this. We talked about all the pizzas, but what flours do you guys use for your doughs?
So my favorite flour is the King Arthur bread flour, which has
High
the higher
protein.
protein. Yeah.
12.7.
So I
yeah.
like that. I do use, when I can't get that, sometimes they're out, I'll go down to the King Arthur all-purpose flour, which is 11.7. So it's a little bit below that. But those are my two go-tos. I'm not a huge fan of the 00 flour.
I used to use it a lot,
Yeah.
and mostly because I'm trying all these new recipes, and they're like, got to use 00. And I couldn't find it, and I finally found it in Walmart, and I'm sitting there putting 15 bags in my cart. People looking at me weird. They stopped carrying it, so I had to order off of Amazon, and it was like $20 for 2 bags.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ridiculous. And the latest recipe that I had, the guy was talking about the high protein flour. So that's what I've been using is the 12.7 King Arthur.
Kings
So,
are, it's my favorite. I've loved the results. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
yeah, me too.
And we don't get a ton of variety around here in Houston. I mean, again, to your point, it's not a huge pizza shop.
Yep.
People who use the flour are using it more for baking, whether it be cakes or breads or things like that, not necessarily pizzas. So we
Yeah.
don't get that kind of cool pizza type of flour. But
Yeah, my wife uses the King Arthur for making her sourdough.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, we have to kind of search out for that, but I haven't deep dive like Rob has into making doughs and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, like I would be not the person to ask.
and the other thing I don't like about the 00 flour, and I forget what it's called, the Tripolo or Tipolo or whatever the brand is. It's an Italian brand.
Semolina or something.
No, semolina is a different
yeah.
flour. That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the cost, I mean, I'm getting half a bag for more
$2.
cost. Yeah, for more cost than I think it's 5 something at HEB for the 00, and it's half the size of my $4.58 for my my King Arthur bread flour. So I'm like,
Well, I can't even get 00 at my HEB in Cyprus. Like I couldn't find
they
it
have it
anywhere. I
here.
was having to get it on Amazon.
yeah, here I see it all the time, but I just don't buy it anymore.
Katie's a little nicer than.
But hey, guys, fun episode.
Yeah,
You guys ready to go
absolutely.
cook some?
Yeah, let's
Absolutely.
have some pizzas.
Maybe eat some
Yeah, eat
one
some
or
too.
two pieces.
white wine. We're ready to move on to red wine.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right, I say we do
Bubbles,
it.
maybe
Yeah, that too.
Bubbles could happen. Not just any bubbles.
rosé. What champagne?
Thank you.
You know,
Champagne.
champagne.
Not sparkling wine.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey. And until our next episode, enjoy your next pour.
Cheers, everybody.